So that's the first type of story. The second type is hypothetical, right? So hypothetical. I love this one. A lot of my team members use this one a lot. So the second thing, like I said, is hypothetical. And hypothetical is good because there's unlimited hypothetical situations. So our head of sales, James, he's our best closer in the agency. And what he's really good at doing is blending between the third one and the second one. And the third one we'll talk about in a second, but the second one is hypothetical. So an example of a hypothetical story. Let's just say again, I'm greeted with an objection. Yeah, look, you're way too expensive. There's other people that do what you do better and cheaper. So I think I'm gonna go with them. I'm not gonna waste your time. Mate, I completely agree. You know, if I was in your shoes and I was doing 50 clients a month and I had a towing company, you know, I would definitely want to make sure that I'm not overspending. Because what I would hate to do is figure out that a competitor of mine who's spending $100,000 a month on ads has a cheaper service provider. But you know what I found, Mr. Towing Company owner? Sometimes the people that spend the cheapest lose the most. I mean, let's look at two realities. Would you rather be towing owner A, spending the least amount on marketing, but has the lowest quality of leads? Or would you rather be towing owner B, who has spent the most on marketing, okay, but also has the highest quality of leads? I'm of the opinion, sir, that you'd rather be option B, where they're spending more on marketing, but because of your significant sales prowess and your experience, you're able to convert those higher quality deals into more clients and customers. So I've used a hypothetical scenario to give them an A and B, and it's that easy. And again, because it's a story, our human brains, even though we have consciousness and we are able to create infrastructure in society, we're still very, very primal. So you can't avoid primal law. I get cold called a couple days a week as well from different people all across the world. And if they get me on the call and I'm still talking to them for more than 2 minutes, I actually say, hey, well done. I actually don't need what you're offering me 99% of the time. But you kept me engaged, oftentimes because they influenced me subconsciously. Hey, there's other agency owners like you that are doing 7 figures a year, and you know that you guys are at the level where you have enough money to get good staff, but not maybe enough money to get like someone that's a CMO, a CEO running your company yet. That's why I'm like, fuck, this guy's good. You know what I'm saying? Because they've done a story. But hypotheticals are good because with hypotheticals, you guys can also come in and prepare prior to the call. So I'll give you an example. There was a jewelry business that I was working with like 4 or 5 years ago. And what I remember doing, and I probably should still do this, was I wrote out, this is before ChatGPT, I wrote out nearly every objection that this person would have. I wrote it out on a piece, on a Google Doc, and I was like, okay, they're gonna say this, I say that. They say this, I say that. That's it. And what happened was, by the time I came to pitch them, I anticipated like 30% of their objections. So by the time they were throwing those objections, I was like, yeah, look, there's people that do a website, and there's people that do a website well. Reality A, reality B. There's people that do social media, and there's people that do social media well. Option A, option B. And I was like, yeah, I completely understand that. I agree it's very expensive. You know what's more expensive? Time. Would you rather lose time or spend money so you can get time back? When you open up hypothetical situations, guys, I am telling you, to close a $100 deal, a 10K deal, whatever, like literally, we've closed the deal nearly every day this year in 2026, which is a bit scary for me, to be honest with you, because we're spending a lot of money and like we're nearly 50 staff. But the reason why is because everyone in the company is trained aggressively on storytelling. And if you have a personal story, it's even better. Going back to anecdotal, the better you know yourself, the easier it is to sell. When I was 24, 23, and I was trying to maintain anywhere between 200 to 500K a year in revenue, what I did a lot of, because I didn't have that, I had a client experience, but I didn't have as many as I do now. I was like, hey, listen, quickly, here's about me. I'm an ex-athlete. At 18, I was playing basketball in the States. By the time I came back, I was injured, but I wanted to make money. I started watching a bunch of TED Talks. I tried multi-level marketing, clothing sales stores. I worked at 2 agencies, fired at one, kept at one. Here's a picture of where I was living at 21, broken bed, CBD, big whiteboard, full of dreams. 4 years later, or back then, 2 years later, $500,000 your company at 23. That's a bit about me. Then I went into the pitch. I mastered my anecdotal story. And the better you master your anecdotal story, the easier it is to influence the subconscious mind every time, especially when you're starting out and you don't have many clients or you don't have much experience yet and you're trying to get work. You have to master the art of telling your story. And if you look at the biggest creators, if you look at even anime, I'm telling you guys, some of the biggest movies use this principle. Anime, Naruto, abandoned, has to come up, meets Sasuke, falls in love with Sakura, becomes the Hokage multiple seasons later. Dragon Ball Z, boom, okay, Goku versus Vegeta, they beat Frieza, yada 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 yada, all the anime fans guys look. And then what happens? They keep getting better and better and better, Super Saiyan 7. Right? Story, story, story. We can't help it. It's how we're influenced. Can you share a story where emotion helped you close a deal? I think I've given a few stories on that. I'm going to get to the third one in a second. But a very easy way to do that. This is my favorite close of 2025. One of my favorite closes of 2025 was this. I completely understand it's very expensive. But let me tell you something. I've noticed in my 7 years of business that there's two kinds of people. People that do the same thing, option A, and then people that try new things all the time, option B. And what happens is, and I'll show them this graph, I'll usually draw it with them live or I'll show a picture of it. Let's just say you do the same thing. Year 1, year 2, year 3. Marginal improvement just because you've been in the game long enough. But the person that's always testing things, it might be a bit more like this, but the highs are so high because the feedback loop is better. That is why you're on this call, because you want to try something new to get a new reality. So B, option B. Guys, that structure in and of itself, between 2024 to the end of 2025, just that alone made me at least $250,000. And that's not including the other closes. I'm just saying just that close. So steal that if you're smart, right? Okay, so the third kind of close.